Joining us live is ABC News political analyst Trey Hardin. And I wonder, Trey, is it possible that we'll look back on this day, this New York primary, and say that is where the race turned in some meaningful way?
Well, it could be. I mean, I don't necessarily see it's going to turn for the Democrats. I think Hillary Clinton's expected to win tonight, it could be the one that actually helps her close out the race. Though I have argued, and I think we've discussed that I think it helps her, benefits her to have Bernie Sanders in this race as long as possible. And what I mean by that is, he brings obviously a lot of enthusiasm and enthusiastic voters, maybe a lot of new voters, that she could benefit from in the general election. So keeping them excited and energized, as long as they're willing to unite around her, I think is important. On the Republican side, though, a whole different story. We really don't know who's going to be the nominee, and I think that the chances of getting to a contested convention are greater, and they're going to be made even greater if Trump does not run the table tonight. There are 95 delegates at stake in New York for the Republicans. In order for him to get a majority of them, he's got to win. He's got to get over 50% in all 27 congressional districts. Just a very tall order. So tonight is a big night for Cruz and Kasich to try to kind of pull a few delegates away from Trump and make the math harder on him.
Yeah, because the Ted Cruz train right now is cruising full steam ahead, and I'm wondering if Donald Trump could finally get back some of that swagger he had even just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a good point, and the Cruz campaign right now, I think they can talk all they want about how they want Kasich to get out of the race and this to be a two-person race. I don't think that if you ask them, if you put them on a lie detector test, that would just show up false. I think they're just saying that because they know in a two-person race it's difficult for them, that Trump likely pulls away and wins. They actually need Kasich in the race, especially in a state like New York where Kasich's not going to win the nomination, but he's going to do pretty well tonight in a state that's a little bit more moderate. And if he can get some delegates, those are delegates that Donald Trump is not getting, and that's what Cruz needs. He needs to get this to the convention. That's his strategy. That's his plan. Everything else is just public relations.
So Donald Trump has been complaining about the way that parties are apportioning delegates. He's not complaining about that in New York, is he?
No, I guess what he's complaining about is the fact that his own children are not even registered to vote in New York, which is, I think, a little eye-opening. I think Donald Trump playing the victim card doesn't suit him well. I mean, this is a guy who's a billionaire and has had a silver spoon for a while. I just don't think that it serves him too well. But, it seems like every word that comes out of his mouth, whether it suits him well or not or is positive, seems to rev up his angry supporters. So he knows what motivates them and moves them. But I think what we are seeing also is that Trump does have a ceiling. We always talked about it. Maybe it's taken longer to see it, but I think that his ceiling could prevent him from getting the nomination before it gets to Cleveland.